Hello and welcome back to my series of 10s, tips, techniques, business tips, and also lessons here on Chao YouTube channel. Before we continue, if you haven't yet clicked subscribe to this channel, make sure you do. I post everything milk tea, coffee, matcha on this channel, and who knows, you might just be the owner of a brand new coffee shop or milk tea shop in the future. Okay, so today is all about bubble tea again. In a previous video, I showed you some tips or things that you should know whether you should start bubble tea shop in this day and age. And as you know, I mentioned that bubble tea is still so popular. In fact, it is not just an ordinary bubble tea. Bubble tea is like a cult. It's a movement. There's a lot of followers for bubble tea. And as evidenced by the growing popularity of new bubble tea shops, they are making billions of dollars. So you could be the next billionaire on bubble tea. If you haven't yet got a copy of my book, All Things Milk Tea, this talks a lot about bubble tea, milk tea, and over 500 recipes. You can find this book on Amazon as well as our website, and in the Philippines and Thailand on Shopee and Lazada. All right, let's get into it. Starting with the first thing you wish you knew before you open your bubble tea shop. Number one, ingredients matter more than you think. If you skimp on your ingredients, you are going to get the wrong type of people. Getting cheap tapioca pearls, getting cheap powder for your tea, getting the cheap syrups, all of this contribute to a low quality bubble tea drink. But it really depends on your price point. If you're aiming for the mass market, it is okay to use a cheaper version of the ingredient, but not necessarily meaning that you get something which is very poor quality, that it doesn't taste good. So make sure you choose the right ingredients and you source from reputable suppliers. The second thing is that you wish you knew someone told you this. Trends move fast. You have to stay ahead of the competition. So you learned everything about bubble tea. You think you have learned everything about bubble tea. The classic Taiwanese bubble tea, the strawberry bubble tea, chocolate bubble tea, but that is not enough these days. You should also offer something new. Brown sugar bubble tea has been there for ages. Is it still popular? Well, to some people it is, but if you keep offering the same thing again and again, you are not going to get your customers back. Think cream cheese, think dalgona milk tea, think lots of different new flavors, mango sticky rice bubble tea. All of these are new and people are always looking for something new. So make sure you stay ahead of your competition. The next is something that you already know. Location is very critical. With bubble tea, people are not really craving for it, that they will go out of their way to find your bubble tea shop. It is more like if they pass your shop and they say, ooh, I feel like a bubble tea now. So that means to say you have to make sure that you choose the right location. You cannot be something that is not out there. You have to position yourself where there is a foot traffic. It could just be at home. If you are located in a community with lots of people, you can start a bubble tea shop there. But think about malls, think about schools, think about call center hubs or office hubs. These are the perfect locations for a bubble tea shop. With a bubble tea shop, you don't really have to spend a lot of money to start one. But equipment is an investment. If you do have the funds to make a big bang approach to opening a bubble tea shop, that is perfectly fine. So invest in automatic shakers, in tea brewers. Now you can get an espresso machine-like quality for making tea. But if you're also offering coffee, make sure that you use your espresso machine in brewing tea. Now, why do I say that you should invest in equipment? When your bubble tea becomes popular, it is important that speed is there. If you're going to use everything manual and you get customers lining up for hours in front of you, which is a good thing, but then this is where investment in equipment is really important. So make sure that you scale your investment in your equipment along the lines of the customer demand. Next, I always say that your staff is the backbone of your operations. Now, staff training is critical for smooth operations, but do not restrict the training on how to make the drinks. You should also expand the training on how to develop a very good customer experience. You should tell them to smile. You should tell them to keep eye contact with the customer. You should try and remember what the customers ordered so that when they come back to your shop, say, hello, is it the same order? Would you like the same thing or would you like to try something new? Customers appreciate the fact that you remember them, even if you don't know their names. This is really heartwarming. One thing is for sure, with the staff, you cannot expect that they know everything. If you overlook this part, which is providing the best customer experience, it could make or break your bubble tea shop. For example, I would say this might be a common sense for customers. So if two people come into your shop and they order, you automatically assume that they will be paying for both, or one of them is paying for both. But it could be that one is paying for himself and the other is paying for himself or herself. So make sure that you do ask questions like this, not necessarily a common sense. So give scenarios when you do staff training. Also, not to mention that you get customer reviews. Most of these customer reviews are on Google Map. Now, you either alienate your customer who will automatically put a bad review on Google, and this could be just because you didn't train your staff. So make sure that your staff, who are extension of your brand, know what to do and how to serve the drinks properly. Social media is non-negotiable. Make sure your drinks look good on camera. Customers will take photos of your drink and put them on their socials. Now make sure those are shared on your own personal socials. Post every day. Make a hype online. But whatever you post, make sure that it is aligned with your branding concept. Next, you wish you knew this. Financial planning is critical. Margins can be tight. Know the costs of preparing your drinks. Know the costs of running these operations, your staff per drink. But you don't have to go to the minute details. Just make sure that you factor everything in. You make a budget, you prepare a budget, you monitor them, and watch for promotions and also discounts because they could eat into your profit. Next, this is something that you all have to know. And if you don't know this, you are not ready to start a bubble tea business. Sugar preferences are changing. People are now looking for drinks that are not sweet. Although I would say bubble tea is not really a healthy drink. It is a decadent drink. It is a treat. But people still are asking for a different level of sweetness. Some would say not sweet at all. Some would say a little bit sweet. Very rarely you'll find somebody that will tell you they want it more sweet than what is offered in your shop. For example, if I'm going to have a Thai milk tea, I will make it without sugar at all. But then Thai milk tea needs to have, say, sweetened condensed milk. I would replace the sweetened condensed milk with just maybe evaporated milk or my milk of choice. The taste will not be quite the same, but still, because of the customer preferences, you have to make sure you grant their request. Some of the sugar preferences requests are quite weird, but then whatever it is that the customers ask, make sure you follow them. Next, inventory control. This is quite critical as well. You don't want to have a customer coming in and saying, I want a classic bubble tea, and you don't have tapioca pearls. You run out of tapioca pearls. And you know, if you're in the bubble tea business, you know how long it takes to boil tapioca pearls. Make sure that you always anticipate the demand for the day and be prepared for those. You don't want to run out of your ingredients that are best sellers, so always keep a record of your stock and restock whenever you need to. And finally, in this day and age, it is very important that you do collaborations. Collaborate with local cafes, local bubble tea shops, influencers, celebrities in your area to make sure that you provide a hype about your product. It is now just something that is new. Collaborators or influencers do not need to get paid. You could say you get 1 week supply of bubble tea, or you can say you get a special discount. With this, with influencers, sometimes they're enough. Having said that, collaborations with influencers could be good, but you will be surprised by how many influencers would be contacting you, asking you if you need help. Some of them charge for money, although I would say it actually works. In my shop, I get a lot of TikTokers, influencers coming without me having to pay them. But once you get somebody coming to you and asking you to pay $1,000 for, say, a post, and the number of followers would be somewhere in about 1 million, I would even say that is worth it. But you can also grow organically by making sure that you make your drinks good and that influencers who come to your shop will post them for free. Well, there you go, 10 things you wish you knew before you open a bubble tea shop. Now, you don't need to wish because now you know. Starting a bubble tea shop is exciting, but it's also a journey filled with surprises. So with all the tips and techniques and lessons from this video clip as well as the previous one, I wish you all the best and that you will not be groping in the dark when you start your bubble tea shop. For more tips, lessons, techniques on opening a bubble tea shop, cafe or matcha bar, make sure you stay tuned on this channel. Click that notification bell as well so that you're notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you again for more of these video tutorials. In the meantime, stay safe, take care. Don't forget to check out my book, All Things Milk Tea. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.